Woo! What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show, Hygro Hybrid, where we are putting Spider Farmer lights to the test in veg. We have the Spider Farmer SE 5000. Wow, those things are they're trees. They're beyond bushes. These things are just massive. You know, to my surprise, right here we got the Spider Farmer G8600, and to my surprise, both fixtures performed extremely well. This specific light does not have the integrated UV diodes, and the Spider Farmer SE5000, I want to say 6. Coming over here, look at this. Guys, these are 5x5/10. This is a Spider Farmer G8600. These things are insane. Look at this. Woo! Oh my gosh. These are 10-gallon pots. You know, I can't say either fixture performed better than the other. I honestly can't. These things right here are these things are basically trees. Okay, this is OG. This is the Natty OG that I run all the time. You guys can see how natty it is. It's basically like just a giant weed that you would just pull out of the ground and throw it away in your yard because dang, it gets big, right? You just walk out the next day, it grew a foot. That's kind of how this project's been. Every day I come in here and these plants are just larger and larger, and they don't stop growing. Even on days that I'm kind of lacking, you know, coming in here and just doing the full routine, you know, it happens to everybody. Nobody's perfect. As we've grown closer to the light, you can see over here the health and the beauty in those leaves. As you get closer to the bulbs, these plants are well into the light, guys. Like into the light. Past the light, actually. Let's take a peek. Yep, they're past the light. So all this up here, you can see once the plants hit the LED will put burn on the leaves. So try not to let it get like this, you know, but this was a good, like, you know, social experiment, if you will. I don't see any difference between this one that has the UV and this one here. Honestly, I know we got 4 plants here, so it's 40 gallons of container medium. This strain right here is a much smaller stout strain than, you know, the adjacent 10 over here. So this strain right here is literally 4 times the size of these things. So, which is why I said, you know what, let's do strain for strain. I only have 2 of these and I had 4 of those, and regardless of the outcome, we're pushing forward in flower. So let's keep it separate. And I'm glad I made that decision. That was a last minute decision that I made, because I can't imagine one of these in here, crammed in here with one of these. So, you know, we're ready to do some work in here, and we're gonna push for flower here in a few short days. So it's, you know, this grows excellent right now. We have to get rid of some of these. I basically have to get this plant height adjustment and get all this top layer here away from the light. You can see the stress. Once there's too much light applied to the plant, you can see where that stress level starts, and it started about right here, and that's about 16 inches. Top of my hand to the bottom of that light, it's about 16 inches. I think we're a hundo too, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, we're at 80%, and I'm glad. So now you can see visually what a Spider Farmer SE5000 will do for you in veg. It's an amazing light, and I'm expecting some amazing things in flower. It's a very versatile light fixture. I know it has the UV, so regardless you know, which fixture performed the best. You know, we had 4 plants in here, and we have 2 plants in here with a smaller fixture. Remember, it's a smaller fixture. It's only a 500 watt fixture, if that. It might be like 480 watts or something. And then in this fixture is I think it's 750 watts roughly. So, you know, thus this light is capable of doing more. It's got more wattage. So take that into account when you're purchasing your equipment. What do you plan to do from start to finish? What kind of light you need, and apply that. Just don't jump on it and go buy one, you know, immediately. Plan these things out, guys. Like, are you going to grow in a 5x5? Are you going to grow in a room, a tent? What kind of medium you're going to use? So all these things kind of factor in your decision to, you know, purchasing the correct LED for your application. But wow, we got some work to do. I ain't looking forward to it, so I'd rather just talk on camera all day long. So there you go. I mean, these things are just, they're insane. I got to break them all the way down, where I'm going to break them as low as I can get them. So the stress factor on this light definitely is around 16 inches. If you were wondering, you can see it here from this light. This leaf is fine, but once you get one node above that one, that's when you start to see slight signs of light stress. So that's where we're headed. Now this one doesn't have the UV integrated bulbs or diodes, but wow, does it perform really, really well. The color quality of this tent is just lime green. I know it might be fluctuating back and forth due to the auto lighting correction in the camera, but wow, it's beautiful. And I am let me see, I don't even know where we have this one. So there we have it at 60%. It's been like that the entire time basically. I haven't adjusted these things. I can't even remember adjusting them, so pretty sure it's been at 60% the entire time. I'll put the video wattage pertaining to this light after this video, but wow, this is a fantastic fixture. It did an amazing job here. I can't say enough about it. Let's have a look at the I know we got some of these pickers here. You know, that's just stuff that's not getting adequate light, and it just needs to come down. We do need to strip some of these things, but I like to tackle that, guys, once a majority of our top growth has taken place. We'll break these things down, and then we'll work on bringing the bottom of the canopy up, and we'll try and fill as much of the netting as possible, and then we'll flip. And about 10 days in to flower, any bottom limb that doesn't make it through the net and shows me, you know, good signs of vegetative growth for the next week, I'll just immediately pull it roughly around day 7, day 10. I do these I do it at day 0, I do it at day 7, at day 10, and especially day 14. So you know, that's just your basic pruning, if you will, and I do it in those stages, so it's easier on the plant, it's easier on me. I don't have to come in here and spend, you know, 3 hours, I don't know how many hours, probably an hour here cleaning up this stuff. You know, it's easier on me to do it in stages and increments and just kind of watch the bottom growth, because a lot of the times, more often than not, the growth, once you trim it away, will surprise you when it's coming up. When it'll go from looking like this is no way, this is definitely going to come up through the net, right? It'll surprise you once you break this top layer of the canopy down and you fold it over, that all of a sudden the plant kind of rediverts its energy into like any, you know, freestanding limbs that haven't been, you know, broken down or put stress on. So it'll divert all that energy into these lower limbs, and these lower limbs will just go zoop, and that's another cola. All these will be colas. So be careful about what you remove before you know you actually need to remove it. So the final stage for me in that decision is day 14. Typically day 14 is the definitive factor, and it tells me whether or not After the transitional stretch and flower, that is going to actually provide me anything significant worth keeping. So, you know, oh my gosh, I did not think that the Spider Farmer SE, or excuse me, I did not think that the Spider Farmer G8600 Lite was going to perform as well as it did. But I'm telling you, it exceeded my expectations. Like, I don't even have words for it. I was like, no way. You know, you got to remember, guys, on the SE5000, I went out of my way and I did, you know, this whole, the UV lights. Bam. And you can see that right there. Okay. So not only do we have the integrated UV into the bars, the LED bars, but we also added additional supplemental UV light kits here. Now, if your lights don't have UVs built in, like the G8600, you can always upgrade your fixture with the UV accessory kit, which is a good deal. I mean, trust me, if I had a UV accessory kit installed on this light would have performed, this fixture would have performed even, you know, better than what you see here. So, wow. I'm definitely not looking forward to manhandling all these girls. I can't wait till these plants are in flower, because at that point it's basically like water, 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 and then, you know, at some point when they're ready to be harvested, it's done, and, you know, my job is done. So this is that fixture. The light is actually all the way up, just in case you were wondering. The light is as high as the light is the light is as high as it'll go, all the way to the top of that bar there. Again, we have that controller for the IR and the UV lights. If you're curious about that product, if you haven't watched the previous videos, I have dedicated videos on this UV and IR kit right here, and you can go check those videos out in the playlist. They don't disappoint. I mean, look at this. You know, now I'm kind of wondering whether or not what this would look like had we not had the UV and IR kit. Huh. You see, that's why it's always important to get a baseline, like a base control, so you know what you're working with. So when you change things every single grow, you know exactly what you're doing. And we're talking about lighting here. It's basically with anything, but in this case it's lighting. You know, you can have a baseline grow between 5 gallons and 10-gallon pots. You can have a baseline grow between 1 and 5s or 10s and 20s. You know, basically, I'm glad that we did a baseline grow with the Spider Farmer G8600, because I could already hear it in the comment section. Well, if it wasn't for the UV kit, you know, the G8600 would have never grown plants that looked that beautiful. Well, they did. And I didn't think that it's basically a hybrid between the SE7000 and the SE1000 watt W, but in a newer version. I mean, this light is designed different, it's built different. So it's got, as far as I'm aware, it's got new housing. The Ballast looks to have some kind of like different, stuff on it. Like this one only has a DIN. See, that's full. That's them. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that. So that's full power. Okay, or I don't know, maybe 60% power. I don't know. Let me see. Oh no. Okay, that's just using the dimmer. Okay, this switch allows you to use a dimmer, and then you turn it off, and it just goes 100%. Then you can't use the dimmer. Is irrelevant. Obviously, we're on 60, and I want to keep it that way. Let's select the dimming switch. So, wow, I'm burning up in here, guys. Look at this. Look at this. Look at these specs in here. 86 degrees, 82% humidity. Now, it wasn't like that when I came in this room. It was roughly about 82 degrees, and I want to say that humidity was under 50%. So, Once you get around your plants, you're expelling mass amount of CO2 in the air. Every time you take a breath, you're breathing out thousands parts per million of CO2. And it's beneficial to the plants. So, you know, it's not so beneficial to us, though. Don't ask any protesters that, though. Where's the protesters knocking at my door? Stop breathing, motherfucker. You're killing the ozone. Oh, I've been seeing some wild, interesting videos hit the internet lately. All these just like eco protesters, and all I could think of, like, what a load of shit, man. Like, you guys have houses, you guys have cars, you guys have jobs. If you guys own a laptop, you're using energy. I mean, come on, man. If you eat steak, if you eat a steak, okay, you're promoting and accepting Monsanto and the whole Monsanto organization. You are the walking, talking example of what it's like to be a consumer. Okay, so a carbon footprinter, a CO2 printer. I don't know, man. It doesn't make sense. We live in a world, no matter what. Like, I don't, unless there's like a mass something, a global reset button, and everybody goes back to the Stone Age, and I don't see anything changing. So, but all these people want to throw themselves in the street, get run over by cars, whatever, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, is all I got to say. Okay. No, I don't want that to offend anybody out there, but that's just, don't get me wrong, I'm green, and you know, but I'm just living within the world we live in today. You know, there's nothing we can do about it on an individual basis. There's not even anything a group of 6 people can do about it. So more often than not, these people end up going to jail and nothing changes. So I just, you know, at some point somebody's got to change something if they want something to change, and it's got to be by law. And it's not going to happen by, you know, throwing yourself in the street. Anyway, but let's get on with this. I really, these things, these funny plants right here, I just kind of kept them. I kept them on the side. All right, guys, Hygger Hybrid coming at you with social experiments and pots. Spider Farmer, G8600 and the SC5000. See you guys in the next one. Peace. Woo! Much love. Stay blessed.